What's going on, guys? So you're here with Jack from Brightside Personal Training. So today's blog is all about bulking and how to do it simply and effectively, and how to control what you eat, so you eat in a controlled surplus. Now, what a lot of people get wrong when they're bulking is they eat too much food or too little food. It's a very kind of fine line in between the two. So the way I tend to bulk is I put on lean muscle mass. So I aim to put on between 10 to 20 pounds per year, depending on how focused I am, what's going on, obviously different variations within there, how my body's adjusting. So the past 2 years I've been able to put on 40 pounds of lean muscle, still keeping my abs visible the whole time. So I've been gradually chipping away at it and putting on weight. So I went from about 9 stone to now 11 stone 10, and I'm staying lean. So how do I do that, and how do I do it effectively? So what I do is I keep an eye on my food while eating in a surplus, and I track it visually and by keeping a rough eye on calories. I'm not big on calorie counting because it's very boring and very tedious, and I'm not looking to step on stage, so I don't believe that you necessarily need to be very strict with your macros and things. You just need to have an idea of what ballpark you're in. Now, with fats, proteins and carbs, that's obviously your main bulk of your diet, of your macronutrients. So what I tend to do is split my plate up per meal. So I originally started on having 6 meals a day, so it's quite a lot of food. No, I went on to 6 meals a day after bulking up to 4 meals a day and 2 snacks. Okay, so then what I did was I split my plate up. So I have half a plate of protein, half a plate of carbs, quarter of a plate of protein, and then a quarter of vegetables and fats. So it's a very simple method of looking at it. And then what you can do around that, you can then look at your packets of your food, so you start to understand what calories are in which food. So now I'm really good at this, and I keep a consistent eye on it throughout the day of how many calories I'm having per meal. Tend to aim for between 400 to 500, so it's in a consistent basis of what I'm having, and you should do the same so you know exactly where you are each day. And I work out what calories I should have roughly. Now, as I said, I don't keep it to the T, and I don't obsess over counting my calories. I just obsess over making sure I'm eating properly and I'm training effectively around that. But my food and your diet with you as well will be the main principle and staple of what you're going to do and how successful you'll be with that. So the main focus is eating in a surplus that's controlled, tracking it visually with what I call the portion method. So I got this from Brandon Carter. I think he got it, maybe Tim Ferriss is the guy they got it from. I'm not entirely sure on that. But there's a book called the 4-hour work week or 4-hour body, something like that. So there's a method in there called the portion method, and that works really well just for not having to obsess over calorie counting and breaking down your plate per meal. So what I do at the moment, I've progressed from that, is I'm eating very regularly on the same portion in calories, but the calories in that meal are a little bit more dense, and my snacks are higher calories. So originally started on 200 to 300. So it's a great place to start if you're a beginner. It's looking for 200 to 300 calories per snack. So things like that are higher nutrients like nuts, protein bars, things like that are going to help bulk up your calories throughout the day, and then going from there. So once I'm tracking my food visually, I'm gauging where my calories are. The simplest way for you to do that without getting into complicated calculations and things is take your current body weight in pounds and times it by 20. That gives you a rough ballpark of what you should be in. Try eating that for a few weeks, and then if you're not seeing the progress that you want, I aim for about 2 pounds of lean muscle being gained a month. Typically at the moment, because of my progress, I've been hitting about 10 pounds a year, so it's about roughly a pound to half a pound a month. So could be better. There's always room for improvement. So you should kind of aim for 1 to 2 pounds, so you know it's lean, so you're not gaining too much body fat if that's your goal. And basically what you want to do is just track that over a few weeks of the calories. So I'm on about 3,500, just below that. But if you're not getting the results you want, then up the calorie intake by 250. And just tweak your meals accordingly to that. But again, you want it to be controlled. You don't want to be one of these people that necessarily goes to the dirty bulking route. I've tried it, and you just end up gaining a ton of fat, even with me being naturally skinny. So it's not necessarily the route that I would suggest going down. I'm all about kind of lean bulking, staying efficient and optimal. Okay, so the next thing is ensure kind of your whole food intake is strong, as well as adding in supplements. I'm a big believer in supplements, that they can get you to where you want to be, but your diet shouldn't be 90% supplements. Supplements are there to bridge the gap. So your whey protein shakes, your creatine, your things like that are all going to help you improve your performance, but it's not going to get what you could get from it if your diet isn't in place. So you need to have your diet firmly in place as it can be. So for me, for example, where I'm currently aiming for 4 whole meals a day throughout the day that are cooked, and then I'll have my supplements and snacks around that. So as I said, snacks are quite high in nutrients, about 500. That's almost the same as my meals, but it's just different types of food. It's not necessarily a meal you look for a whole food. So I'm not sitting and eating rice and salmon and things like that. So I'm looking for different nutrients in those snacks, but the supplements bridge what I can't get. So if I'm with a client, then I'll have a meal replacement shake or a mass gainer to make sure that I'm hitting my calories and that I'm not missing meals and I'm eating regularly. Because science has shown, and that I'll try and link the study in the bio or in the blog that this will be attached to, studies have shown that if you eat 20 grams of protein per meal at regular intervals throughout the day, it actually said kind of 2 meals plus, so it's not massive amounts, and you will be more likely to gain lean muscle mass. Now, obviously, if I was to eat 2 meals of 20 grams of protein, I'd be a massive protein deficiency for my training and what I want to achieve for my goals. So per body weight, I recommend 0.8 grams to 1 gram of protein per body weight if you want to start to focus more on your macronutrients. Obviously important, but if you're eating 4 meals a day at 20 grams of protein, you're going to be getting close to the 100 mark by the time you're adding supplements and snacks anyway. So you should be around there if you're starting from where you're quite naturally thin and you're struggling to have any natural muscle on you, which is where I started, okay? So you're then going to want to make sure you're staying hydrated around your training. Highly important that this is key and that you're hitting this. So I aim for 3 to 4 litres a day. Again, depends on kind of your activity levels and different things, but there's more information in the blog, which this video will be attached to, and the link will be in. But you want to make sure you're hydrated. So there's plenty of nutrients. What am I about? There's plenty of benefits for the hydration and that being high. Obviously, energy levels being one, skincare, things like that. But there's also the fact that you're going to feel more efficient and more energetic in your sessions. You're also going to make sure that if you're hydrated, then the body can work at its optimal efficiency, so then the nutrients are being delivered to actually where they need to be. If you're dehydrated, then your body's going to struggle. You're going to feel tired in your training sessions, and your motivation is going to be even lower. And that's something that people tend to struggle with anyway. And I'll do another blog on that soon. So that's kind of a basic overview of what this blog is about. Just kind of read through if you're somebody who likes to read. There's a lot more in-depth information in the blog that I've written down for you. But that's kind of what I've used over the past 3 to 4 years to start adding some lean muscle mass. It's worked for me. If you want to know more, then there is a group that I put together with a friend of mine, Jake Tutton, who uses a slightly different method towards bulking, but has been, again, very efficient in that, going from finding it hard to put on muscle, which a lot of guys do, and girls if you're coming from that background, but then going into actually being able to put on muscle successfully. So I hope this has helped. The link to the private Facebook group for more support and regular content and videos each day is going to be below. So I hope you found this useful, and thanks for checking it out.